What's up, everybody? Another episode of the Straight Out. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm so used to saying that. Holy cow. And Straight Out Whack is my other podcast. This is the No Sauce podcast with Kyle and John and Danny. And
glad we're top of mind, Kyle.
What's that?
I said I'm glad we're top of mind for you.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching college basketball all night, so it's kind of been the thing that's been, on my mind as I've been watching. So anyways, yeah, good times. It's snowing here in Utah. Fun. I don't know how much John's got. We've got about 1.5 inches back here at our place. Actually had to shovel and throw out some ice melt tonight, so that was fun. But here we are, another Tuesday night, another disappointing college football playoff show. We're going to talk about it. I don't know how much we're going to rant about it because nothing's really changed. So I'm going to let these two take the spot. And John said he's got some thoughts on it, and Danny has some thoughts on it. And so let's let them take the stage for right now.
I'll just take the lead on this one real quick because we'll just get this out of the way. So yeah, like I said, I think BYU is going to beat Texas Tech, and it's going to shuffle some things around. I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama. Madness is going to ensue. So up until, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours ago, I was a BYU fan this weekend, but I'm not. So we're going to throw that away because I got tickets to go to the playoff game in Eugene. So I just need Texas Tech and Georgia to win. So we end up at the 5 seed, and I can go watch a playoff game in Eugene, hopefully against a group of 5 school, which it looks like, which that's going to be interesting because if Duke goes in and throws a monkey wrench in things, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, which seemed absurd at the time. But they go in and beat Virginia, then you end up with 2 group of 5 schools as your 11 and 12 seed. And I'm in Eugene watching. Hopefully the Ducks run away with that because, as you seen last year, we didn't do good with the bye. So that's where I'm. That's where I'm going with that. I want BYU to win. But no, I'm rooting for Texas Tech and Georgia this weekend.
One thing about that is Oregon is one of, 3 teams that are 11-1, and they don't have to play in a conference championship game, and they are in, right? They're in.
Yeah,
like
they're locked. Yeah, correct.
Correction, Kyle. There are 6 teams that are 11-1, and 5 of them are pretty much guaranteed spots in the playoff.
Who are the other ones?
Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M.
That's right.
But there's one out there that doesn't matter because they're irrelevant to even make a screen on ESPN.
That was a little shameful, dude. I honestly I didn't like how the selection show happened tonight. I thought there was a clear shade, and like Kyle was saying, I don't know if they got it out for the Cougs. I don't think that's the deal. I just think the Cougs are just the team that they're just, we could just leave them on the shelf. There seems to be a lot of money driven type of things, and that's unfortunate. But it's becoming pretty apparent. And we've always known it's been there. My dad used to bitch about the SEC in the 1980s. So, I mean, it's not like this is anything new. This has been around college football forever. There's a few of those 2 lost teams right now where I agree with you guys 100%. Why are they automatically in? And you're not just saying, as far as I'm concerned, I think there's 7 teams that are a lock. After that, I think it should be pretty much or 8 teams, excuse me. After that, it comes out of wins.
John, it's been 90 years of college football rankings, and in that 90 years, there's never been an 11-1 team outside the top 10 in the final rankings of the season.
Correction. Yeah, make sure you add in the stipulation. There's not been a Power 4, Power 5 team that's gone 11-1 in the regular season and been ranked outside the top 10.
The season still ain't over.
Well,
we got to remember that, right?
I know, but at the end of the regular season, we're not going to fix this system. I know Kyle doesn't want to spend a ton of time me bitching and moaning over it, but it is very apparent that whether it's ESPN, the SEC, College Football Playoff Committee, whatever, there is some sort of bias towards, and you can't even say necessarily an SEC bias. So I'm going to try to take my rant in a different direction tonight because I think there are a lot of teams that are getting screwed. Yeah, and it's the big money schools that are getting favored. Vanderbilt has a very, very strong case to be ranked higher than 14th. I mean, they've got what, 3 top 15 wins. They've got a potential Heisman candidate on their team. Again, this conversation could go a bunch of different ways. Utah has won their last 2 games, the last 2 weeks, but yet they've dropped 3 spots. Now, granted, they haven't looked that great in the last 2 games.
They give up
but,
like 1,000 yards rushing in 2 games, but yeah.
You've got a 9-3 Texas that is out there campaigning that they should be in the college football playoff, which
Yeah, and Damian, piss off for that. Like, you guys don't even belong in the conversation, and piss
and
on
I get it.
Sarkisian.
I get it. They have some great wins, but you have not been a consistent team all year. And yes, we're going to continue to bring up the Florida loss because you lost to a 4-8 team. Oh, but they're SEC, so it's more like they're a 6-6 team or a 7-5 instead of a 4. Like I've seen all sorts of bullshit. Okay, I wish we went to a 16-team playoff.
There we go.
If you make your conference championship game, you're automatically into the college football playoff. I don't care.
You got to be careful with that. You got to be
Well,
careful with that because
here's the thing. I know there's the outlier of Duke being at 7-5. I think conferences need to kind of fix that a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, if you make your college football or your conference championship, there should be something in it for that.
And it works perfect this year too. I mean, like, if it was 16 teams this year, we wouldn't be talking about hardly anything. You'd be talking about the bottom. You'd be talking about Utah and Michigan, right? Like a 16
Utah,
team
USC, yeah, like you'd be talking that realm of things, right? But I think the majority of it, the real
fit
games
perfect.
that matter, would fit great, right? But it's frustrating because the case can be made any which way, and I'll pull this up. I don't know, Kyle, if we can share it or whatnot.
And I don't understand. Like, I was seriously confused when I mentioned like pulling up the college football selection committee. Like, I honestly thought I was gonna see like what we saw in the first few years. A lot of SEC schools, a lot of people that aren't even football people. But I mean, if you're going down the list, I mean, most of these people that are on this selection committee have ties to the West Coast or are currently on the West Coast, and it was really really kind of shocking to look at that. And there's a ton of ads on this selection committee. I believe 10 are ads on the selection committee, so I didn't expect to see that with the kind of bias that we're seeing.
I think, and I don't think I'm alone in this, whether it's a BYU thing or whatever school thing. I want to understand how they're making the decisions that they are, because, and again, I'll use an example of a BYU situation because it's relevant, and this is probably one that nobody's really thought of. If you're looking at consistent metrics to look at these things, because at the end of the day, winning on the field should matter.
Yes.
But here's a situation that I'm willing to bet, again, nobody's really thought of, and I saw this post. Team A, Team B situation. I've used a couple of these, right? Team A, number 6 strength of record, number 14 game control ranking, however that's determined, I'm not sure. Best win against number 11, and I'm assuming that was number 11 at the time. Their next best win was against number 28. They lost to a number 5. 4 wins versus composite top 40. 5 wins versus teams that finished 7-5 or better. Use those same metrics. Team B is number 7 strength record, so 1 spot lower. Number 10 in game control, 4 spots higher. Their best win was against a number 13 team, so 2 spots lower than Team A. Their next win against number 27, which was 1 spot above Team A, lost to number 7, only 3 wins versus composite top 40. 2 wins versus teams that finished better than 7-5. That's 3 teams fewer than Team A. That's BYU, Team A, and Team B is Ole Miss. And Ole Miss doesn't have a coach.
Staff. That's the thing. Like, it's not just as much as the
their
coach, but
DC
staff.
stayed and their OC came back too.
The OC came
Yeah.
back, yeah.
And I get that, but it's like there have to be set rules. Like the committees even like posted their rules of like what they're going to use, and they're not using it. In some instances they are, some they aren't. They have stipulations where if like there's a key player that's injured, they could factor that into their weighting. Where is that in like this situation? The head coach is gone. You have players that are probably already checked out, booking and looking at homes and stuff, or student housing in Baton Rouge. Like, again, I just don't understand the whole playoff committee. I've kind of given up on it. I know, BYU needs to win and just handle our business, and it's all gravy from there. But, I posted on Twitter about this. Like, why should we have to? Like, at this point, haven't we should any other Power Four conference? If you have an 11-1 team, you'd be ranked higher, and you're automatically in. You throw out the scenario, Alabama loses. Are they out?
I think they should be. Yeah, absolutely. I think, and
Yeah.
I think if Alabama does lose, or when Alabama does lose, I think that puts them in the same discussion with Texas. They're a 3-loss team.
Greg McElroy said tonight, if Alabama doesn't get boat raced in that SEC championship,
That they're still in.
I saw what he said, but what I'm saying is, logically speaking, like we're trying to talk about here, you got a 3-loss team. How in the hell can you put a 3-loss team into just a 12-team playoff when you have so many 1- and 2-loss teams that are much more deserving? I don't think that's just. Well, I think that's where it really goes sideways. If you put a 3-loss team that's not a conference champion.
Here's the irony too, though. Georgia's 11-1, right? Their only loss is to Alabama.
Yep.
So
if they lose to Bama twice.
Why is it that if they lose twice, like if they lose to Bama again, why are they still in the playoff?
I agree with what you're saying.
Would be out if they lose to the same team twice. That's just a top 10 team.
Agreed.
Top 5.
Agreed. That's different than a 3-loss team.
I've been against the whole bias thing. I fought John tooth and nail about it and debated and all that stuff. But like when you look at it, right? If you put 11-1 and 11-1 together, they lose to the same team that they lost to during the regular season in the conference championship. Both top 10 teams, but one gets kicked out of the playoff because they lose, and the other one gets to stay. Why? That's if and the other thing is, if this was 11-1 Texas that wasn't playing in their conference championship, we wouldn't even be having this discussion.
Sure,
they're in automatically.
So that's the problem. And the rankings tonight, this is where the BYU got screwed. Okay, in the final rankings, BYU beat UCF. They finished 11-1, and people are saying, well, Notre Dame or Alabama had a win against a tough rival, and they look decent doing that was their argument tonight.
And
right?
I got a point on that.
For dumping Notre Dame. Okay, even though Notre Dame beat up on Stanford late at night in the final game, whatever. But why is it even a question that BYU is behind both Alabama and Notre Dame when they are 11-1 and should be one of the top 8 teams and should already be in? That's what's frustrating for everyone, especially BYU fans. Is like, why is an 11-1 team, even in the graphics that they put out tonight, why are you negating this 11-1 team and discrediting them for losing to Texas Tech, who Texas Tech has blown out everybody this year? So like Texas Tech might be the best team in the country when all's said and done. I think Indiana beats Ohio State this week. I just do.
Me too.
And I think Bama could beat Georgia because Georgia's not a great football team. I know Sean, our buddy in Elko, says they're the best. They're not.
That's the only reason I hope they lose is so we can shove it up Sean's ass.
They escaped Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech was getting blown out by ACC teams the last couple of weeks. So, like, that's what bothers me is BYU's 11-1. They've won their games. They've done what you've asked them to do. Why are they not in the top 10 just to begin with? And then you can play around with the at-large teams, the other at-large team, you know,
agreed.
you're going to have to figure it out.
It comes down to if Oklahoma and Texas wouldn't have left your conference, you guys would be just fine. The Big 12 would be in good shape.
The other problem too. These conferences have gotten too big. This is go back to that Duke situation.
Yes.
Conferences have gotten too big. There are no divisions anymore. So you're not playing specific teams to decide if you're your division winner, right? And now teams aren't playing everybody in their league like Duke, Miami.
The Big Ten. The Big Ten's terrible with it. Yeah.
But and you have Alabama, who announced today that they're pushing off their game against USF next year to 2032.
Yeah,
so that they could schedule Chattanooga State.
Somebody confirmed that it was a schedule change for something else. It wasn't about what Steve Sarkisian.
It was a new booster. It was a new booster. Hey.
Sure. No, it's not about what Steve Sarkisian was pumping out there. Oh, we're not going to play any tough non-conference games. Yeah, that
Sarkisian needs to get punched in the mouth. Like his argument is, against with Ole Miss. Like, first of all, full disclosure, I can't stand Lane Kiffin. I think he's a weasel dick. I've always thought of that. I mean, that's a whole different discussion. He wants to chase the dollar. That's fine. He wants to paint his own picture. That's fine. And by the way, don't tell me you didn't know how much money you were getting when you got there. That's complete bullshit as well, dude. Come on, quit doing that. But Sarkisian saying, we belong in the playoff because Ole Miss don't have a coach. Dude, if that's all you got, dude, you can't.
Well,
you're not a 3-loss team. You can't backdoor in with 3 losses without winning a conference championship.
Here's the flip side to that comment that he made regarding playing Ohio State. If they win that game, he's not singing that same tune.
No.
Because you win that game against Ohio State. Now that's leverage you've got for the rest of your season. So you go have a bad loss, but then look back and say, oh yeah, but we beat Ohio State at the beginning. And on top of that, nobody dropped them out of the top 25 when they lost to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
What did they drop to? Like they
not
didn't
much.
drop far.
7 or something.
Yeah. Let me look. I'm gonna look at it here real quick.
It wasn't far, I don't think.
Yeah, Texas was number 1 that week.
They dropped to number 7. They didn't even drop out of the top 10.
Yeah. Hey, look at me.
Like somebody said, playing that game at Ohio State, whether you win or lose, if you lose, it's still leverage because you can say, "Oh, that's our 1 loss," or "That's one of our 2 losses," because you lost to it was Georgia, right?
Strength of record,
right.
But
so you lost 2 top 10 games on the road. Nobody would say a word, right? They would be in the playoff most likely. But you lost, like John said, you lost to a 4-loss Florida team that got beat by USF, that got embarrassed by LSU, that got beat by Florida State, right?
Well, on top of that, Kyle.
And look bad against other teams.
On top of that, they've been inconsistent against other teams. They almost lost to Mississippi State, only beat Kentucky, who's garbage, by a field goal. But here's the other thing. You got blown out by Georgia.
Yep.
35-10. Like BYU had a horrible loss against Texas Tech, 29-7. That's point spread wise, that's a worse loss.
Yeah.
And like you have 2 other losses and you're only 2 places behind us. Like, eat shit, Steve. Like, I love you. Thanks for being a BYU quarterback for a while, but you can go eat shit. Like, I don't respect a damn word that comes out of your mouth. Like, be grateful for where you're at. If you choose as a program to go schedule cupcake games, go do it, because we've seen that the SEC can get away with it. If BYU, if anybody in the Big 12, the Mountain West, the American, or anybody else schedules that type of a schedule, we're going to be in the same situation that we're in, even though we have 10 Power 4 games on our schedule this year. We went 9-1. 9-1 in Power 4 games this year. But let's just forget that, right? Again, big programs, go play your marquee games because you're getting tons and tons of cash for it, for your programs.
Even when they go play shitty teams, they get a ton of money just for those teams to get the chance to play them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, granted, they also dole out like, hey, here's $500,000, or hey, here's $1 million. Or
Sure.
you can be like Notre Dame and pay us to not play us. There's that too. And again, I'm done. You guys have heard all my rants. It's all biased. The big name brands, that bring the big dollars because they're getting the right scheduling at the right time, and ESPN's can do anything that they can to pucker up to you guys. Like, have at it, whatever. We'll go 11-1. We're gonna try to get business taken care of against Texas Tech this week. And I hope we do. I there's part of me that wants Texas Tech to say, like, hey, for the Big 12, we'll miss a tackle or two so you guys can win the game. But no, let's go out and beat them. I think there's enough that's gone on this week that's been a distraction for BYU that now it's time to focus, reset. And I'll be honest, today has been one of the funnest days being on Twitter before the college football playoff game or show or whatever the hell you want to call it, charade, the hoax of the century, the biggest bullshit scandal. Just interacting with Penn State fans.
So you
They were
guys did a GoFundMe to keep Sataki there, right? Like you guys did a whole
well.
Mormon pass the plate around and all that
Here,
stuff.
here's the
It was
funny
the
thing.
crumble cookie guy.
There
Oh yeah,
was a
the crumble
GoFundMe
cookie
out
guy.
there.
That's right.
There was a GoFundMe out there, right? But when I checked it, it had like less traction than the GoFundMe that we did for the family of the barber for Texas Tech. Like,
Yeah.
but it didn't mean there weren't late night calls between Crumble and Nutra. What is it? Neutral
Nutricost.
Boost and
Yeah, Nutricost. Yep.
Nutricost and uh, Qualtrics and all those guys. Willing to bet that they all got together. I'm sure Costa Vida jumped in there. Um, Cafe Rio, they probably squashed their beef and said, "Hey, let's pay the guys." Bam Bam's barbecue is probably there with his 50 cents. Whatever. Like, here's the thing that people, I hope they see come from this is that you've got a guy who is in his dream job, and he sees, like we're seeing, the bias and the bullshit that you have to go up against. And I don't think we'll ever know fully what was going on in the back of his mind. But when a big school like Penn State comes and says, hey, kind of like why Lane Kiffin, partially of why he left, because he wants a program that's going to back him so that he can go compete against these bigger schools that have more money. I think BYU and its boosters, donors, whatever you want to call it, stepping up. That's, I think, what Kalani wanted. He wanted more money for his assistant coaches. He wanted more money for the program so he could go bring in more 5-star recruits that'll be dropped down to 4-star recruits once they get, once they decide to go to BYU.
Wants to be on a level playing field, right? Like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't
just
you?
love play.
Right? Like,
Like,
it's a semi-professional sport now.
it is.
Let's just be honest. That's
It
exactly
is.
what it is.
But that guy will die. He will lay down on the tracks for his team. And I think that's shown. I mean, even in his press conferences for his, he called out the fans and got emotional talking about them because, like, he sees the love that they had. I think his wife told him, how, like, this has been the best 24 hours in a long time for them because of the love bomb that was dropped on them through Twitter and through different social media outreaches because they love him. Like, people were saying, hey, if you go to Penn State, we support you, we love you. There wasn't a whole ton of like backlash, like, oh, you traitorous a-hole, you Lane Kiffin 2.0. There wasn't a lot of that because we see the heart of the guy and he wants what's best for the kids that he coaches. And I don't know, it's
And
been
it's
uplifting.
definitely a different deal, and you can tell it in his recruiting and everything, and no different than guys like a lot of your offensive coordinators, taking positions, like Stein at Oregon. He's
Yeah.
still going to stick it out through the end of the playoffs, but I mean, Kentucky's home for him, and I wish him the best. I really do. Go out there, you get a head coaching job as an offensive coordinator. That's promotion, and some of these guys, that are moving up from these FCS schools or Division II schools or whatever, from those jobs into your bigger jobs, like the guy that's moving up to Auburn, right? But still coaching their schools out. The North Texas dude, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, and I hope they make it into the playoffs, and that's cool. That's how these things should work, and yeah. So I wish the best. I hope he stays there. I hope Sataki stays there, and that's one thing we're losing in sports. Is the loyalty for a program, regardless of the dollar amount. This, that, and the other thing. When sometimes I guess it's hard, right? I mean, you get in that job, but at this point, Lane Kiffin's just a clown. And you can see what he's all about. He can say whatever kind of nonsense he wants on the microphone. You can spin it whatever the way he wants to. But I think everybody sees Lane Kiffin for what he is.
And he had just kind of rebuilt his image.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
when he left Tennessee to go to USC, oh my gosh, dude, the things that were said and done, like they wanted him on a spike,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And then, things didn't work out at USC. Then what he did, he went to Bama as an assistant coach for a while. Then FAU, and then takes his job at Ole Miss. And it's like, hey, this guy's matured a little bit. He's learned from Saban. He's doing things right. And then this,
Pull this douche move right off the bat. This is
but
you had
but
your.
like,
I don't get it. I mean, you're
well,
right up against it, man. Like you really have your chance to win your national title, and I get Baton Rouge is sexy, but dude,
well,
I don't know.
the other part is, and we can't fully bash Lane Kiffin on this because of the portal that's open for these coaches to make those moves.
Sure.
Like he's got to do that now. Like he has to, or else he loses
Another
out on
incorrect
recruiting.
part
And
of the system. Absolutely, the transfer
yeah,
portal opening when it does. Yeah, 100%.
it just like Kyle's mentioned, it ruins college basketball when that portal's open there. And like we've talked about a time or two on here, like when the portal opens, like you're gonna have guys that don't go to bowl games because it's not important. They would rather get on and go on to their next school or whatever. And unfortunately, this kind of ties into the narrative that Lane Kiffin's an asshole, but like his hand is kind of forced. I'm willing to bet that similar conversations that Kalani had with the donors and stuff here in BYU, Lane was having those in Oxford, and he just probably wasn't hearing as much good stuff as he was in Baton Rouge.
I don't know.
And
I just and obviously I'm not Lane Kiffin, but I mean, you get yourself, like you just said, all the tumultuous shit that he went through with all the other programs. Like finally you got a place to settle in. Like the expectation is not through the roof. Now, do they want to win? All that kind of good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all Division I, programs do, but I mean, he built his program how he wanted his program. He got his recruiting base, and now he's right there on the ledge. And he could lose. He could lose his first round game at Ole Miss and still be the king of the castle.
yeah,
You do that at LSU, and that's not the case. So that's where I just don't get it. I would think as somebody that's been through as much stuff as that he's been through, be just time to just settle in. Let's just ride this out. Let's have those careers where you're at a program for 15, 20 years, but nobody does that anymore.
yeah, yep, agreed.
So what's
Agreed.
Kyle? How you doing over there? Who are you watching? Your bets flopping over there? Or?
No, I'm just scrolling through Twitter, listening to you guys because I mean it's all. I mean, I agree. I posted things on Facebook about the whole thing. Like, it's crazy to think a Power 4 conference team goes 11-1. Right? They're going to play in a conference championship game, and they're not in the top 10. That still blows my mind. I get Oklahoma went and beat Alabama, whatever, but even then, they're still not. They don't have as many wins against bowl eligible teams as BYU does, and Arizona moved up in the rankings, right? And the fact that Utah moved down.
Well, I think that's part of the committee doing that. I think it plays into that narrative. Well, instead of having a win against a 13 team, now it's a 15 team.
Right.
But dude, the system is wrong. And maybe this is a segue into rivalry games. When you have rivals, I have seen so many Ute fans on Twitter, on the socials saying this is BS. Like this one guy, Riker, says, it pains me to it pains me to say this as a Utah man. This is absolutely ridiculous. In what universe is a one-loss team whose only loss came on the road against the top 5 opponent, not in the playoff? It's a Ute fan. Ute fans are agreeing with the situation. Like it's BS. And they should rightfully be pissed off too, because they've won and they continue to go down. But I just blow up the system. Top 2 in each conference, your conference championship teams make the playoff, 8 at large based on a, whatever you want to call it, computerized system like the BCS.
So here's another thing, and I just want to point this out. The only time this season that Texas Tech did not win a game by 20 or more points was the game that they lost at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, BYU was the closest.
Well, BYU held them to their fewest point total of the season, even Arizona State,
because they only scored 22 at Arizona State.
That's right.
But BYU, they beat BYU by 22. That was the closest anybody came to Texas Tech outside of their loss. And they were playing with their backup quarterback. Baron Morton wasn't even playing. The last 2 games, they won 48-9 and 49-0. Before they played BYU, they won 42-0 and 43-20 over Kansas State.
And they looked horrible in that Kansas State game. Like,
Texas Tech could win the national title. I mean, I hope BYU beats them just so they get Texas Tech and BYU in. But Texas Tech has the defense, has the offense, and I think they match up so well with everybody else with their physicality.
I can't wait to see Oregon play them in the Rose Bowl.
The only loss that they had, Kyle, was the week that Baron Morton was out. Their quarterback was hurt.
Yeah, right.
And if BYU's defense can come out and the offense actually wakes up, which scares me, Kyle, because it's yet another BYU game that starts before noon. It's been our Achilles heel. We play great after dark. The hope is they wake up. But to your point, I think that's the biggest thing that all these people are missing is how great of a team Texas Tech actually is. This is the best Texas Tech team in their whole entire school history. This is over the Michael Crabtree. This is over anything that Patrick Mahomes had. Their middle linebacker. What's his name?
Chris Rodriguez, something Rodriguez. I can't remember his
first
Rodriguez.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He should have a ticket punch to Manhattan. He should be there at the Heisman. Maybe not win it, or maybe he does. I don't know. But their defense is stellar, and he's the catalyst for that defense. And people are downplaying the Big 12 because of just historically they haven't been as powerful and as strong as what all these other conferences and stuff. But we're good.
They were before Texas and Oklahoma left.
Yeah,
his name.
It's just like everybody thought BYU was going to suck this year when we lost our quarterback. Well, we lost Oklahoma and Texas, but the Big 12 is still just as good. Now
top.
Yeah, I mean it is
the top, and that's
bad. Yeah.
And maybe that's what we need in order to elevate the conference, to have just like the SEC, just like the Big Ten, have that top 4, 5, 6 teams that are the same teams every single year. But it's not
no, and I don't think that's good for college football. And we've talked about it. I mean, it's realignment is what it's going to take, and the problem with realignment, the thing that's going to get in the way is TV rights, and that's what's screwed it up from. That's what's gotten us here, right? So it's all about greed. It's all about TV rights and things like that. So, what gets those TV rights is those big rivalry games, right? Rivalry games were good last weekend. I mean, it kind of pisses me off with this new format, or with this shakeup, that we don't have your traditional Red River rivalry on the last weekend of the year, those types of games. And
but that game's never been played at the end of the year.
I know that. Okay, bad example, but you know what I'm saying.
Like BYU Utah should be at the end of the season.
Civil War.
Oregon State used to be, the Apple
Mhm.
Cup in Washington. UCLA,
Yes.
USC used to be at the end of the season.
Mhm.
That's when it should be, right? That's what the last week of November should be rivalry week. And
Montana State, that's a big one too. What do they call it? The
they
big
play
game
that the
brawl or
weekend
something?
before. They play that the weekend before Thanksgiving, because they have FCS playoff games
Okay.
that final week in November. So
Right. Right.
the
But
only reason I know
rivalry
that
games,
is
that's
because there's a bar in Mesquite where Montana State fans gather every year for that game to watch it and celebrate
okay.
it. Like they rent a room in the bar and it's
That's
filled
great.
with people. So yeah.
And that's what's great about college sports, right? Like, and that's what we've gotten away from with these breaking up these regions, right? Like, I
Yep.
mean, you can no longer drive to Cal to Oregon, whatever, now you ain't going to Rutgers, that ain't that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's
No.
what built college sports was the students, and the students, they ain't got a lot of cash, so they get 8 of them jump in a Ford Fiesta or something and drive down I-5 and go catch a game. But those rivalry games, that's where I was kind of going with that, is kind of wondering what your guys' top college football rivalry games, especially that you'd like to go see. Those those things that aren't maybe necessarily within reach. Like, obviously the Holy War. Hey, I got to go to the pregame show, and I thought that was pretty cool. That was hella cool, and I'm attached to the Civil War, so on and so forth. But you guys got any other rivalry games that come out in your mind that you'd like to go see or that you think are super special?
Ohio State, Michigan, I think top one on my list. I would love to go see that in the big house, not at the Horseshoe. I want to see it in the big house. Um, you know, I hate the Big Ten, I hate the SEC, but I hate Ohio State more than I hate Michigan. So I'd go to Ann Arbor to see that game.
Sure.
Um, USC UCLA used to be a game, but both those teams are garbage. Um, Florida State would be fun.
And I
Um,
think the Miami Florida State one would be better.
you think?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, because
Um,
conference
well,
implications.
just the history between the Knowles and the Canes.
Historical, wide
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
absolutely.
Army Navy.
There you go.
That'd be
There's
cool.
Army
one.
Navy.
Yep.
There you
Army
go.
Navy. That one would be awesome, and like see the pageantry from like the handing over of the what do they call them? Um, oh, the hostages essentially. So like each school like has like five or whatever, it's like five hostages from the other school, and they deliver them to the other side so they can go enjoy the game. Like I think that's fun.
Huh.
Sure.
A ton of them in the SEC would be fun to go watch. Um, love to go see Tennessee, Georgia.
But what would your just Ohio Michigan State, is that the number one game that you'd like to go see?
That's probably the biggest one I'd want to go see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, besides
Okay.
ones that I've already been to, I've already seen Notre Dame, USC,
Okay.
but that one's fun because, well, I hate Notre Dame. Go USC. Love
Sure.
Rudy's the man, but
He
uh,
was offsides, dude. He was
yeah, he
offsides.
was. He was. Yeah. Yeah. And it was a horse
So,
collar tackle, right?
yeah. So you've obviously been to, I'm assuming, numerous Holy Wars, right?
Yeah, I've been to a couple of them.
Both at Rice Eccles and down in Provo.
No, screw Rice Eccles, dude. I don't want to
Okay.
go up to a shithole.
I was just asking. I was just asking.
Just
Okay,
kidding.
so the energy, the energy, the honest energy, not the biased energy. So the energy, USC Notre Dame against the Provo Utah game.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there, yeah, just the energy going into it, like seeing the energy, and not necessarily like I don't like the hatred part of it, right? Like I want there to be a respectful like rivalry, right? I don't want to worry about getting stabbed or shot. That's one of the bigger reasons why I won't go up to Rice Eccles because I will refuse to wear Utah stuff. I would wear
I mean,
BYU stuff.
I'm
You're
just
not gonna
saying,
get
dude, a lot
stabbed
more
or
people
shot
getting
or beat
shot
up
in the
for wearing your
Provo area
BYU
right
gear
now.
up there.
Listen, it's the same. It's the same thing. I would not go to a Dodgers Giants game in LA. I don't want to risk getting stabbed or shot. Right?
I went to the BYU Utah rivalry a couple of years ago at Rice Eccles with my brother. We wore our
You
BYU
probably
gear.
wore red.
We sat right behind the BYU bench, like 3 rows up, all full of Utah fans. And I didn't get threatened one time. So I don't know where you're
Coming
getting
from,
that.
When you're sitting that,
BYU fan that wore red
when
to game day, dude. What are we
you're
talking about?
when you're sitting that close to the opposing bench, it's probably okay. It's the nosebleed section, the
There is
diehards that
no
In
don't
the
have a ton of
bathroom.
money,
at
that
the
are on
Yeah.
the
University of
edge and are
Utah.
criminals anyways.
There
Those are
is
the ones I worry
no
about.
nosebleed section at the University of Utah Rice Eccles Stadium. No way.
Listen. Again, I'm not going to go spend thousands of dollars to sit close to the field and avoid getting stabbed at Rice Eccles. Okay,
Oh my
don't put
god.
me up top with the criminals and any of them. Leave me alone. I'm going to watch the game from home and celebrate. And I'm going to drive to your house with my BYU flag when we win. When we lose, I'm going to avoid you at all costs, so I don't have
If
to
you
deal
drive to
with.
their home with your BYU flag when BYU wins, that'll get you more likely to be stabbed or shot than it will going to the actual game at the
Yeah,
stadium.
don't end up in West Valley like that, dude. You get
That's
ruined.
another reason why I don't go to West Valley a whole lot.
Oh my gosh.
Not about
No,
the
but the one
stabbing.
So Kyle,
I want to go see the Red River rivalry. Red River
Yes.
rivalry.
Wed Wibble Rivalry. That's for
Yeah.
Yock, dude. Let's get the Wed Wibble Rivalry. Is that off
Yeah,
of
I
Wedwood
want
Road?
to go see that game. I love that they still play it at the original Cotton Bowl instead of
Mhm.
moving it to AT&T Stadium.
There you go.
You know, it's right there in Dallas, in one of the probably not the best parts of the city. So,
But it's awesome because it's the fairgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
you have all that going on with it. Like that would be a hell of a one to go to as
yeah,
well.
that's one I would love to go to. I think the most. Any SEC rivalry game at night, whether that's Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, whether that's I've been told, you know, Tiger Stadium down there in Baton Rouge at night is crazy. So any one of those. But yeah, the Red River rivalry is the
It's
one
cold in
that
his
is on the
basement.
top
His
of
lips are
my
going numb.
list. So would love to experience that game.
Yeah. Duke UNC. Basketball.
No,
Basketball. Oh, basketball, dude.
Basketball.
Anything in Cameron Indoor, dude. I was just watching the Duke Florida game tonight, and I was just like, man, that's what college sports is all about.
So
right?
I got to go there, Danny. I got to sit courtside a couple of years ago, 2017, when Utah Valley went there. They went to Kentucky one night, and then they went to Duke the next night.
Right.
And I got to sit courtside. My seat was across from the Duke bench on the end of the media table. So I'm sitting right there while the students and all them are putting their hands right past my ear, you know, doing their little voodoo stuff at Cameron.
That's awesome.
Cameron Crazies. And David Robinson was in the house, sitting down the row from me. So that was kind of cool because his kid was playing at Duke. But
basketball, that's a whole different discussion. That we'll get into that during basketball season, because there's a lot of different basketball arenas that are crazies and or rivalries that are crazy. But yeah. I mean, for me, you guys named a couple of the big ones. The Iron Bowl, that's that's always that's a good one. That should be fun. That Montana State, even for a little game, dude. There's a lot of that's a big game in the state.
What's another one I've seen some stuff on is Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was up until a few years ago.
Yeah, for Paul Bunyan's act.
Minnesota had led the I guess the series record up until, I don't know, however many years ago, and Wisconsin only had it for like 3 or 4 years, and Minnesota just beat them and like took back over control of like the overall series. So like that would be fun, because I think that's one of the I think that is the longest
to Wisconsin.
Say that again.
When Cincinnati, Luke Fickell, who was at Cincinnati, he took the Wisconsin job. Now Wisconsin's terrible. So yeah, Minnesota's kind of been putting it on them in that rivalry. So,
But that's
and
the
those
longest running rivalry, if I remember correctly,
and
as
those
well. So
rivalry games are super important. Like I mean, even the Oregon Washington game. Like I mean, it was something they said the other day in the broadcast. Like these guys have been playing football against each other longer than radio has
but
been
that's the
around, right?
saddest
Like
part about it. It shouldn't be Oregon Washington.
no, I know, but that's
Washington State. That's
so
the worst part about it.
that's what that's what I'm leading into, is that it depends on relevancy of teams now
Yeah.
rather than in-state rivalries,
Yep.
right? Like you no longer have the Oregon State because that game don't mean shit, right?
Right.
Yet you had two Pac-2 title games this year, dude. They played each other twice. Oregon State played Washington State twice in football this year.
and they're 1-1.
And they're 1-1. Yeah,
Conference
exactly.
champions.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like last year, at least when they played and they were shitty, it was like, hey, that's the Pac-2 title game, like whatever. But they like it's so bad that they couldn't get anybody else to play them. They're like, hey, you guys want to play again? Like that's the kind of deal it was, right? But that's taken away from the meaningful Washington State, Oregon State, Arizona State. Some of these rivalries stick.
Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oakland. There's another big one, right? I mean,
Texas versus Texas Tech and Texas Tech versus
yeah,
A&M, all of that. Yeah, like
yeah,
it's killer, man.
yeah. And that's once again that's 100 years worth of history between the schools that because that's what there was. You were either going to that school or you're going to this school. It was you were over the hill or this side of the hill, or you were whatever, close to water or
Pitt
whatever.
in West Virginia in the backyard brawl. That used to be one of the best.
That the whole
they're like 45 minutes apart, right?
That's
like
Oregon State. That's exactly how far away they are. But that Civil War don't mean shit anymore. But it used to mean like families didn't talk to each other. Yeah. It was like Thanksgiving, we're cool, and then I'm out. I'm a Ducks fan. I'm a Southsider and Northsider.
Remember back in the day,
I was pointing at the Ducks.
I think they were in it was the Big 8 back in the day. And then it became the Big 12, but Nebraska and Colorado always had that rivalry.
That was a big one.
That was a huge one, right?
The Colorado State game, was it 2 years ago? The slugfest back and forth. That was a fun game to watch.
Yep.
And then Shedeur
games between those two.
Stanford Cal.
Yeah.
Stanford Cal.
Now they're in the ACC.
Or it's called the game. It's just called the game, right?
Yeah.
That's all it's referred to. Yeah. I mean, it's all these regional rivalries have been ruined by the conference realignment, man. And it's awful. And not just that, but the analytics that go into scheduling nowadays for any sport are awful as well. Like, so we'll take the Utah schools, for example. I'm talking basketball here. Like Utah State, BYU, Utah, they used to play, and Weber State. I'll throw Weber State out there. They used to play each other every single year.
Yep.
Everybody played everybody. And it was a packed arena, whichever arena the team was at, right? Like it didn't matter. Now, BYU goes out and schedules Podunk U to come in and get clobbered because that's what the metrics say to do, is to clobber these Q4 or Q3 teams to pad your win stat, total. Utah does the same thing. Utah State does the same thing, even though now they have 3 other Division I schools that they could play. And when BYU and Utah Valley do play, whether it's at the Marriott Center or the UCCU Center, both places are packed because people want to see that game regardless of the outcome.
It's a local game, right? You can get a ticket to it. Right? Yeah, no, that's absolutely.
The thing is, like, they don't do that anymore. I mean, I remember going to a BYU Utah State game. I can't remember how old I was, maybe a junior in high school or something. And I couldn't hear the guy next to me because it was so loud. Like BYU got up by 26, or not BYU. Utah State got up by like 26 in the first half. BYU came back, took the lead, and it went back and forth in the final seconds. But you couldn't hear each other talk to your neighbor.
And you could afford tickets too.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen anymore. And and that's just in any sport. It's unfortunate that, I mean, it's great that we have BYU and Utah back in the same football conference, back in the same conference. So that's great. But like other regional rivalries where it's been split It's just so unfortunate. It's yeah, so
Well, and
unfortunate.
it's ruined a lot of the pageantry of the game. I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and the money, I think, has made the game more competitive, you know, but at the same time, money chasing is ultimately
At what
what's
cost?
ruining it.
At
Yeah.
what cost, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's why like bowl games used to mean something. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it
it
goes
didn't
back to
like,
that scheduling with the transfer portal opening
mhm,
and the recruiting process starting this week, right? Like that's when it opens. And
mhm.
so guys are bolting like that. That's just, and now they've realized they can opt out of bowl games and because they're getting ready for the NFL draft and all this
Or
other
no, it's not
stuff.
even that anymore. Like that would be one thing, but there's a whole different problem. Like, in college basketball, you're worried about the one and done. At least you're worried about the one and done, right? And with college football, it's whatever. But now these dudes, like, they can stick around longer in college and make more money than what they do when they get drafted.
Yep.
The only problem is they don't do it at one school. They
Yep.
they get money at this school and they go to this school. So I think those, and this comes down to like having a governing body or a czar or whatever the hell you want to call it. Like you can't. There's got to be a cap on how many times you can transfer. Maybe
yeah.
you should only be able to do it once. These guys that are transferring 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, some of these guys are transferring like 3 times before one season starts.
Which means it's not about anything academics
No,
anymore.
absolutely. So the student athlete thing, throw that out the window. Any commercials you have NCAA about student athletes, dude, you just trash those
Yeah.
things because you ruined that.
Is it
100%.
interesting to note? Here's a thought. If you go Division 1 in baseball, you have to stay you have to play Division 1 baseball for at least 3 years before you can move on to professional baseball. Did you
But you
know
can
that?
be drafted.
You could
Yeah.
be, but
Yes.
you still have to stay for 3 years.
Mhm. Yep.
It's like a draft and see kind of thing, right? If you go JUCO, you can go right away. But if you go Division 1 base, but in football they don't have that rule. Basketball they don't have that rule. You can go after one season in either
Well,
one.
Betcher from Oregon, for instance, linebacker for Oregon, man, he's already been drafted, and he's going to go play baseball this year. Like, I mean, but he wants to play football, so
Yeah.
there's just no consistency across the sports, and
Well, like the NCAA, like, it's garbage that they allow different things for different sports, and I don't know. Again, it's, you can see where the money's driven, basketball and football, and so they're going to allow that to do what it does because money drives it all. I mean,
Yep.
let's break it down. Money is 100% the key factor in a lot of those decisions. We want people. What was it? You used to have to do 2 years before you could go to the NBA, right?
Mhm.
And now it's one. And some people don't want to do that, so they go play in the European leagues and then get drafted out of a European league rather. Like,
G League, yeah, NFL used to be 3 years.
yeah, it's just it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun.
but that's the problem. These kids are 18, 19 years old, making $2, $3, $4 million a year. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
it,
and
they
some
got
of them
no sense.
and some of them, this is the best opportunity that they're ever going to get to put food on the table and to take
Get
care of their
get something for
families. And
mama, dude. Get something for mama.
Somebody put it this way, like when you are an 18, 19-year-old kid and you get a chance at life-changing money, like you're not gonna leave that. You're gonna
Mhm. Well,
so
that's
it is what it is. It's like you
Especially
said.
if you don't got nothing. Like, let's compare it. I mean, look. This makes it just so hilarious. The Reggie Bush deal. Like, the dude took a $500 car.
yeah, yeah.
Now
Well,
Yeah.
that shit's
and
that's
that's
cheap.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
yeah.
It's nothing.
That's a
I
whole
just
nother story because you get into the whole, especially professionally, like Pete Rose. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame now? When you're gambling, you're advertising gambling sites literally at stadiums in Major League
mhm.
Baseball. Like it's so funny. Release the Black Sox, free the Black Sox,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
yeah.
So we're gonna
Well, I wouldn't go that far because they threw games to win, right?
I
Or
mean,
are we talking
I,
about
I
different?
guess that's what
But
we've
then
been
they came
told.
back and were going to win it, but the dude got threatened with his family getting killed, and so he had to throw that last game. So that's
I mean,
debatable.
throwing games is different than betting on games. Like, especially if you're not betting on your team, or if you're betting for your team to
I'll still
win.
stand by it. Free the Black Sox because, yeah.
Okay, hey, let's
Free
change.
Barry
Okay,
Bonds.
let's change. Yeah, there you go. Right on. We got like 5 minutes left. All right, to
We're
stick
gonna
under the
change
hour. Right, like
this December. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
no. I love Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie filmed during Christmas.
If you're gonna say Die Hard, for those people that say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, you better be saying that Harry Potter is a Christmas movie series.
I mean, Lethal Weapon. I think Lethal Weapon 2. One
Yeah,
of them was filmed over Christmas.
I
Dude,
can see Kyle's eye roll, right?
I'm trying
no.
to figure out. Not every Harry Potter movie was filmed during a Christmas.
Most of them were, and if
Was
that's
it
the
Christmas
case,
or was it just that it was snowing?
Or
no,
was it
Christmas,
just super festive?
especially in the first.
I mean, it's always super
Is it the
festive
first
on Harry
book?
Potter. Let's be real.
Sorry for I'm gonna say movie because I never read the books. Let's be honest, I never read the books. I think in the
Mhm.
first movie, like everybody goes home, but he stays because you have a home to go to, and like I think a couple of his friends stay too for some reason or whatever. It's like yeah, so there's actual Christmas in the movie, which I always thought was weird because if they believe in Christmas, they believe in Christ, but they're magicians, wizards. Like I don't know.
You're thinking too hard about this, John.
Yeah,
I
wow,
am.
that went
I am.
way deeper
I
than
am.
I think. Yeah,
I
child's
am.
We're
doodle,
just
man.
gonna say yippee-ki-yay and leave it at that.
I mean, I'm all on board saying that Die Hard's a Christmas movie because I know it pisses a lot of people off.
Yeah,
For me, it's not. I don't watch it regularly. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw Yakatomi Plaza
I'll watch it when I
in this
catch it on
household.
TBS or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, like
whatever.
if there's no games on, if there's nothing fun on, like, and I'm not rewatching um, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever, or Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. If I'm not rewatching something like that, and that's on TV, yeah, take a stab.
Okay, so then here's the other question: if you guys feel that's not a Christmas movie, I feel it's a Christmas movie. I'll watch it when I have time.
Love the
But
movie.
what is the Christmas movie? What's your go-to Christmas movie?
Oof, that's easy. I'll let you go first, Danny.
What's my go-to? Well, first of all, I mean, I'm not a real ho-ho kind of guy, so
Oh, you're a
Bah
hoe.
humbug.
yeah,
Ah,
I'm not a bah humbug. Okay, yeah, I'll go with the Grinch, dude. Yeah, I'll go with the
okay.
Grinch. Yeah.
Well, you are
Cartoon or
dressed
the
in
Jim
green.
Carrey?
Huh?
You are
Jim
dressed in
Carrey or
green.
the
Either or. I love the original. First of all, I
okay.
love the original, but I mean Jim Carrey. I mean he's when he gets in his type roles, dude. He does something great. So yeah, I'll swing with. And I got some grandkids that kind of look like the Who children too when they get their hair done up. So yeah,
Cindy Lou.
I'll stick with the Grinch.
Nice,
Love it.
John.
Muppets Christmas Carol. Best ever, hands down. That's my go-to. We will go through all the normals. We'll watch Elf. We'll
Is it
watch.
because you identify with the little people or?
It could be that. I think the music in there, the way that they portray. I mean, the
I
Christmas
love the
Carol
judges.
storyline in general is just a great movie. I mean, stems from a great book by Charles Dickens, but I think the way that the Jim Henson and the Muppets, like how they like put it on, like it just I don't know. Ever since I was a little kid, like it was what I always wanted to watch, and it's the greatest. Home Alones, those are always great. We watch those as well, but like that is the one where I will say, okay, guys, we are not watching that unless we're all seated down as a family watching it.
Yeah,
Like
my
before.
parents always made sure we watched Frosty and the Snowman, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Those
Reindeer, all
cartoons
those
was like,
Yeah,
yeah, those were
15-minute whatever they were. They seem like
like
hour programs. You watch them now, and it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't very long.
little like
yeah.
claymation or whatever they were.
Yeah,
know?
the claymations, and then you got the Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I actually started up Polar Express. Was it Polar Express? Is that what it's called? We were sitting
Yep.
there watching it, and then I was like, "Oh, time to go record." So, like like a lot of those Christmas movies, we could turn them on, whatever. I'll scroll through through Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. I'll get sidetracked, but that's the one movie.
I cannot believe neither one of you said Christmas Vacation.
I mean, we'll watch it 100%. I
So
I love the standing at the window, just looking out at the
Looking out
dream
of the
pool
pool.
scene.
Yeah.
well, I
And
mean,
especially having kids that are a little bit older now and they see that and they're like,
Hey,
"Whoa, whoa."
I led the snowflake festival parade here in Elko as cousin Eddie. Full robe with I had a sewer pipe over my deal. The shitter was full. Yeah,
Clark, that
so
tree's a little too big. Where are you gonna put that? Bend
yeah,
over, I'll show you.
I'll show you some. I'll shoot you guys over some pictures. But I literally walked down Idaho Street in front of everybody in Elko in like 13-degree temperatures with just a bathrobe, drinking beer. So yeah, so to me, like that movie to me is I'll watch that anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't gonna be a holiday movie. I'll watch that on April 3rd. So
There you
but
go.
that's a good call though. Yeah, no, I mean the Christmas Vacation is a solid movie.
Nice.
Oh, what about you, Kyle? Besides Lethal Weapon, or what is it?
Die Hard.
Die
Oh,
Hard.
Die Hard
What's
is not my favorite Christmas movie, but
what's your go-to Christmas movie?
I like it's old, but The Night We Saved Christmas. I think it was 1994.
Oh yeah, way back, playback.
84. Yeah, we first saw it. I can't remember where we saw it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it was, I don't know, pretty cool. How, I don't know, the elves, the North Pole, all that stuff was, there's just something about it, right? And yeah, it was, we really liked it. So one of my favorites.
Interesting.
One of my favorites. That and I know John mentioned the Home Alones, but Home Alone 2 is my favorite. Just the stuff that he does in that house is just so much better than Home Alone 1. Like it's just,
I mean, hey, Joe Burrow was great in that movie.
Joe Burrow was great in that movie.
No, Aaron Rodgers was good in that movie. Have you seen that one? Him being beat up and like he's got the little like patch over his nose.
Oh yeah, he could be one.
He
Yeah,
looked like he
dude,
just got
that's a
beat up
good
by the
call.
Macaulay Culkin kid.
That's a good call. Yeah, absolutely, dude. What was that one's name, dude? I forgot his name.
Not Harry. It was Harry.
Harry.
No, Harry.
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 Yeah.
Was that the one? Which one? Which scene
The
are we
Sticky
talking about?
Bandits. The
Sticky Bandits.
They were the Sticky Bandits then. Yes.
Got the iron mark on his
But
face.
you don't get the Joe Burrow reference, dude.
Howie. You know when he gets hit with the bricks.
Yeah.
Howie.
What, Marv? What? No. Harry's the shorter guy. Marv is the
Marv. Yeah. Marv. Yeah. There you go.
Think about what he had to go through. First, he gets hit with bricks in the face, right? Then he gets stapled, gun to the
testicles.
nuggets and to the rear end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he falls through a hole.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Then he falls through a hole. Then he has a 50-pound bag of concrete that hits him, right, and knocks him down. Then he goes sliding into a paint shelf thing and has all that paint fall on him.
He gets hit by the big metal pipe.
Yeah. Then they finally get back up and they get the big pipe that hits him. Then they have the tool chest coming down the stairs. Like, oh my gosh. Like just
Yeah. How convenient that kid was able to like his 12-year-old, 13-year-old frame could lift and set up all that stuff in a moment's notice. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not as believable as the first one.
Yeah.
But
child, you see what I just sent you?
No.
Look at your phone. You'll enjoy. I was a mischievous kid, so I really looked up to the Home Alone movies. Like I knew I could craft that type of stuff and do that type of mischievous stuff around town, but never actually pulled it off quite like Joe Burrow did.
Here, we're gonna put this up. Give me just a second. We're gonna put this up. Well,
Hey, while you're pulling that up, here's one of my favorite things from today. So, because I know it's going to take Kyle an hour.
it's not gonna take me an hour. Shut up.
Penn State fan wrote, "Hey, I would love to have a conversation with one of those with one of the BYU fans who is a Mormon, lives in Utah, who
I
has
saw
a sense
that.
of humor, so on and so forth." Right? And this one guy says, "Okay, ask me anything." He says, "How accurate is the secret lives of Mormon wives?" I responded, "Dirty sodas is 100% accurate. Everything else is garbage."
All right, here's what we're looking at. Danny, the shitter's full.
Jeez.
Yeah, let's go.
Except you don't have the right moose glass.
Well, that was early in the day during the festival. That's probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, he's just got a beer and a big cigar.
Yeah, and a shitter pipe, dude. That my daughter actually worked at like an RV place, so it's clean. Just came out of the box.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, literally led the parade. Walked for like 9 blocks, and I think I drank like 7 beers in that 9 blocks, dude. I had to pee so bad by the end, dude. It was the greatest thing ever, dude. Yeah, so
awesome.
we had
just use your giant tube to relieve yourself in.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I could have walked over to a grate, it was just
Just drop the tube, and just nobody would see.
No, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. But we had the station wagon and and the motorhome and everything, so that was good time. So
yeah,
nice, always a good time. Oh, good time.
So, yeah, good time, good show, guys. We gotta, let Damien know that his Texas team sucks. So we just gotta remind him of that because he's waiting for some sort of a.
I mean, they're good. So. Just don't lose to Florida. You're not.
And it's also don't lose by 20, 25. Like BYU's learned that if we didn't lose by what was it, 22? By 22, we wouldn't be in this situation, or would we?
I don't know.
Hey,
save that for another episode.
Just go to the SEC.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode. Remember, hit the like and subscribe, and order your no sauce gear, and
share that shit.
Show us that stuff. So
yeah. Hey, do we got like underwear and stuff on there?
No, we don't have underwear and stuff on there.
Great stocking stuffers, no sauce.
Oh my gosh.
Written across the back.
Or underwear stuffers, either way.
Yeah, or that's even better. Even better.
Oh my gosh. With that being said,
it can hold your sauce.
On the next episode of this No Sauce podcast.